G'day Seagulls fans, welcome to Seagulls TV for our big Week 2 Finals team selection video. Obviously we've got the two finals this weekend on Saturday in North Port Oval with our seniors in development both playing back to back, and football manager Chris Dixon is joining us to take us through the teams. Chris, it's a huge Saturday setup, both do or die finals.
Massive game, so obviously great that we've got both teams on the same day, so it's a big day for the club and obviously expecting everyone out there in North Port Oval on Saturday to cheer the boys on. So I guess, this time of year there's no second chances, so it's a great result for the development boys to come through and play in a prelim final, and obviously we've got the seniors looking to make amends for last week, so plenty at stake, and we're looking for two strong performances.
Now on the seniors, obviously not the ideal result last week, but team selection would have been interesting this week given how strong the development performed.
Yeah, that was the positive for last week. Probably had our worst performance at senior level, followed up by our best performance at development level the next day. So there was certainly no shortage of players who were sort of putting their hands up to come into the senior squad, and I think we've got 5 in the end who we've named in the 27 who sort of came in. I guess when you look at Caleb Hislop, Jake Owen, Sean Hetherington, Anthony Anastasio, Dylan Conway, Caleb Sullivan, another one who's come in as well. So there's been plenty of players who put their hand up, and obviously we're not going to be able to play all of them, but there's obviously some of me who come in the mix, and really expecting those guys to give us a spark and hopefully ignite the rest of the group. And if they carry on that form at development level into this week's senior game, it's no doubt going to be an increase in our performance.
And two confirmed inclusions at the moment. Obviously Caleb Sullivan comes in as 23rd man as you mentioned, but great to have Peter Faulks back down in defence too.
And look, we went for Caleb, I guess, with knowing sort of looking at Sandringham, they're a pretty tall team, sort of playing the two rucks in Wonga and Pearce, let alone some other guys that got up there, sort of Fisher, Shenton, Tom Lee, who sort of played forward on the weekend as well. So that extra height's really important, and obviously Pete gives us that stability down there as well. So looking forward for those guys to be really defensively strong. Sandy's obviously coming off the back of kicking a huge score against Port Melbourne, so it's an area that we've got to be really alert to and making sure that their forwards don't get on top of us.
And I suppose the big out this week is Aaron Sipos. What can you tell us about his injury?
So Sip's just had a bit of a meniscus tear, so he'll miss this week. We've still got a bit of water going on the bridge there, but certainly it's not season over for him. Obviously if we lose on the weekend it will be, but we're hoping that if we progress through to a preliminary final, then he's going to be well in the mix for there. Look, it's certainly disappointing to lose him. His game against Sandringham last time was really important for us, and obviously knows a lot of the players, and I'm sure he would want nothing more than to be out there against his old team, but it just means it's next man up. So we've got plenty of players who put their hands up at development level last week to come and replace him, so it's a great opportunity for one of those guys to come in and play a big role for us.
Now, on our opponent Sandringham, everyone sort of had written them off last week, and everyone, they didn't seem to get the memo of that. They put in perhaps their strongest performance of the year. They're going to be a huge test for us on Saturday.
No doubt. It's certainly, anytime you roll Port Melbourne on their home ground in front of their home crowd, it's a huge result. So look, the way they played their style of football, they took it right up to Port Melbourne. As I said, they hit the scoreboard. I think they'd probably end up kicking, probably 20-25 goals in the end. So really sort of just were dominating a lot of areas of the ground. So it was great probably for us to really sharpen our focus and look at what they're doing. Obviously we watched the game live and also obviously had a look at it back on the tape, so it was a really impressive performance, and we're going to have to make sure that we're doing a lot of things well to get the result that we're after.
Now, as we mentioned off the top, the senior game at 11:40 isn't the only game that day. Our development team really impressive against Port Melbourne last week and got through to a preliminary final. It's the 16th consecutive year, can you believe it, that our development team have made a preliminary final or further. So this week their opponents are Casey, and how do you see their chances on the weekend?
It's a bit of a tough one. It's been a while. I guess with the development fixture, normally you sort of play everyone a few times throughout the year, but it's been probably 22 weeks since we played Casey back in round 3, so it's really tough to compare I guess how we're going to stack up against them. Obviously qualification kicks in for Casey, whether they drop a few players back in who played seniors last week, we don't know. We'll sort of see when the teams come out, but the one thing that I guess from our end that we can control is obviously the energy and the pressure that the boys brought last week, which was no doubt their best game of the season at that level. So they'll be looking to replicate that, and I think if they replicate that, they'll be able to go a long way. So obviously a lot at stake, trying to make, I guess, a 4th straight grand final, which would be a huge result for 40 and the boys. So it's going to be a real focus to, I guess, replicate that energy and that pressure from last week and to bring into action Saturday afternoon. So obviously a lot at stake, but I'm pretty confident that the boys do what they did last week. They'll be right in the mix, and hopefully it'll be a good game of footy. They can fight it out to the end.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a huge doubleheader there on Saturday. If you'd like a lift out, we've got our bus running from Seagull's Nest down here at 1 Mason Street, Newport. So that takes off at 10:45am. Give us a call on 93910309 to book yourself in. Now, you can have the choice to leave after the senior game, or we certainly encourage Seagull supporters to stick around and support the development boys in the preliminary. So there'll be 2 pick-up times after both of those games. So Chris, you'd be expecting or hoping for a big Seagulls turnout to really get behind the boys and cheer them on.
Oh, it's hugely important. So anyone who's not doing anything, want to come down and watch the boys. So obviously it's great. We've got both teams on the same day, as we said. So great chance for all family, friends, everyone to come down and cheer the boys on. It's this stage it's win or go home. So really important that we get all the support we can get to help cheer the boys over the line. It means a lot to them on the field. So let's make sure we see plenty of blue and gold and nice and loud and proud and cheering the boys on.
That's it. Your support really makes a difference. So we'll definitely see you guys all out there on Saturday for our 2 big finals.